Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be having an update of what's now Hurricane Henri that be affecting parts of the New England states tomorrow into Monday as well. That's going to be the main part of this video. So let's go to get started with the National Hurricane Center outlook here. We got Tropical Storm Grace that just made landfall last night into Mexico. I'm not sure if it was a Category 2 hurricane or not before it made landfall, but all I do know is that it did rapidly intensify before it made landfall. So I'm not sure if it became a Category 2 hurricane or not before it made landfall. We also got this disturbance out here. There's cooler waters out here, but there might be that possibility it may survive for those cool waters. And if it does, it may have a chance to develop later down the road. It still has a low and 20% chance, but I'm not worried about that system right now since it's just a fish storm. But the system that we all have to worry about is Hurricane Henri, which is just a few hundred miles just east of North Carolina, moving to the northeast at 14 miles per hour. It's moving at a pretty decent speed with a pressure of 991 millibars with winds at 75 miles per hour. So it's just a low end Category 1 hurricane. And I do expect this to probably intensify a little bit more before it reaches to cooler waters in this area right in here. So it basically has pretty much today to intensify before it starts to die down, before it makes landfall somewhere in around the Connecticut, Long Island area. But let's check out this a little bit more detail from the National Hurricane Center. This is their latest forecast. You can see here we do have hurricane warnings in effect for across parts of Connecticut and Rhode Island. It also includes Long Island. They're currently forecasting this to make landfall as a tropical storm, but there is still that chance for hurricane to make landfall as well. So we're going to keep those hurricane warnings in place. We do have tropical storm warnings that does include parts of the New York City area and tropical storm warnings across parts of southeastern Massachusetts. Let's take a look at this in a little better detail here. If we check out the watch warning advisory map, let's go into the Connecticut area. And you can see here, so this is the National Service Forecast Office in New York. You do see here, this is a little bit confusing here, but we have a couple things going on here. So these brighter reds here, those are hurricane warnings that are in effect. And these purple areas in here, those are storm surge warnings where we can see storm surge maybe 2 to 4 feet, maybe 3 to 5 feet in some places. And then you also got tropical storm warnings that goes across the northern part of Connecticut, which it also goes to parts of Rhode Island. It even includes New York City as well within that tropical storm warning. So these areas could experience some tropical storm winds out of the system here. And if we go back here, let's go a little further to the east here. So this is the National Service at Boston. You do see here those hurricane warnings does move into across parts of Rhode Island as well. And you do have some tropical storm warnings that goes into effect across parts of southeastern Massachusetts as well. So over a pretty large area. It's also a pretty good amount of people that live in those areas in there. So that's definitely a big concern there that where this system here is going to be heading into a pretty populated area here. You also do have flash flood watches in effect across parts of southeastern New York. Don't be surprised if that gets expanded to more areas, especially when it gets to may expand a little further to the west as well, which I'll show you guys that in a moment there where we could have the chance for some flooding as well. Here's your wind speed probabilities, and there's some pretty big numbers out there. That 100% chance is now getting into parts of eastern Long Island and now getting into parts of southern Connecticut, with a high end 80 to 90% covering most of Connecticut and Rhode Island. Even goes down as far as north as southern Massachusetts. Meanwhile, Massachusetts could see a 50 to 80% chance for tropical storm winds, and that even continues further up north, up into southeastern New York, northeastern New Jersey, southern Vermont, even for southern New Hampshire as well, where those places could experience some tropical storm winds over the next 5 days here. So a pretty large area that has a pretty good chance for some tropical storm winds there. Here's your hurricane wind probabilities, and still have some low confidence for Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Long Island here. Still have some low confidence there right now, but don't be surprised if these percentages do increase over the next couple days. Right now, the confidence is a little bit low for hurricane force winds for right now. Let's check out the rainfall totals here. This is from the Weather Prediction Center. They got most of their rainfall, some of their highest rainfall totals where kind of the circulation storm may go. So probably go something like this here. So within that circulation area, or at least around the circulation, could see a significant amount of rain. They have some areas that could see 6 to 10 inches of rain, and a little bit more widespread area of 4 to 6 inches of rain as well. Meanwhile, most of everybody else could see 2 to 4 inches of rain, which is still quite a bit of rain. But I will focus probably in this general area right in here for the potential for quite a bit of rainfall here over the next couple days. I'm also more focused on this general area in here where it becomes stationary for a moment when it starts to make that northeastward turn here. So come in like this, and then it makes that northeastward turn like that. It's going to stick around that area a little bit longer there. If that happens, that could lead to a lot more rain than what this map is showing. You could be seeing some places could be seeing 6 to 10 inches of rain in some of these places. So I'll show you guys some of those weather models in a moment. And let's see, peak storm surge. It's going to be another issue here. Um, you do see here's the Long Island Sound. You can see 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, 2 to 4 feet between East Rockaway Inlet and Mastic Beach, 1 to 3 feet between Cape May and East Rockaway Inlet. Uh, you can see 3 to 5 feet of storm surge really from the Long Island Sound all the way to parts of southeastern Massachusetts, and then it's 2 to 4 feet between Sagamore Beach and Chatham, and then it's 1 to 3 feet from the Merrimack River to Sagamore Beach as well. So storm surge will be another issue for a lot of these places as well. I think that's it right here from the National Hurricane Center. Let's check out some models here. It's now Hurricane Henri. It's a pretty decent organized system. It's a little bit more organized than last night. What's very interesting here is that the winds on the western side of the system here when recon come by was actually much weaker than on the eastern side. Winds were actually mostly calm, a little bit more calmer side on the western side. Me on the eastern side, it was pretty decently strong. Now today it's a little bit more organized, have a little better low pressure system kind of in place here. There's an upper level low starting to move in here. And that upper level low may actually help this storm intensify a little bit better here and get it better organized. Upper level lows typically have more energy here. That will actually add a little extra energy for Henri to use. And they'll be kind of interacting with each other. So it's going to be very interesting how that goes throughout today. How the upper level low and Hurricane Henri will react. Here's the current tracks from the hurricane models, and you do see here, at least the majority of the models making landfall somewhere in central Long Island, and eventually move it to southwestern Connecticut. And you see where I'm talking about that turn right there, that hard northeastward turn right there. When it starts to make that turn, it will slow down a lot, and then when it makes that northeastward turn, it will start to pick up speed again. That's going to be very concerning here for areas in the north and probably western side as well, where some of those places could see possibly a significant amount of rain. You do have a couple also show it further east, but we're kind of taking a track probably somewhere into probably central Connecticut, somewhere in that area where the center of low pressure could go. So it could go something like this here, but we'll see how malls will trend here. And so far, malls been trending kind of on the western end here, so See what happens over the next couple of updates here as well. Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys are wondering when it's going to make landfall, probably sometime around 8 o'clock Sunday, so this will bring in effects to Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, and New York as early as tomorrow afternoon, and it will make landfall sometime 8 o'clock Sunday, and that's some of your worst impacts will come in really Sunday evening into the overnight hours on Sunday night. So that's looking to be the timing of the system here. It'll probably start to make the northeastward turn sometime 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday. So some of your worst flooding problems may happen in the Monday morning hours. Maybe somewhere across parts of southeast central New York as well. Here's the intensity guidance from the hurricane models. They're not really impressed with this system. I think it's good at least maintains a category 1 hurricane before it gets into some cooler waters. Which, if we kind of go back here to this map right here, so your system's right here. Really, beyond this line right here, up here, that's where we have much cooler waters, but south of this line here, we got warmer waters, which is favorable for a tropical system. So it's still got a decent amount of time to go. It's got about another day to intensify before it dies down, before it makes landfall there. So at least this won't be one of those type of systems that will rapidly intensify before landfall. This will actually die down before it makes landfall, which is some good news there. And like I was talking about that upper level low, this is the GFS model here. You see your upper level low, which is right here with that weaker trough right there. Here's Hurricane Henri right there. Watch those millibars right there, or those isobars. You can see here how it's starting to get a little bit tighter. That's indicating of a stronger system and it's gaining strength. You can see here probably its strongest point maybe later today, maybe into the overnight hours. And you can see here how it makes landfall sometime maybe Sunday afternoon, so it's a little bit earlier, but it does have a bias of being too progressive of a system, so I'll take that as a grain of salt. But you do see there how it makes landfall somewhere into parts of Connecticut, which is looking to be where we're thinking of as well. Might make landfall somewhere in Connecticut. And that system finally dies down, the same way for that upper level low as well. So let's check out the rainfall side of things, and these models here are probably a little too far to the west here for my taste. But you do notice here, you will kind of see the track here. You'll start to see this low pressure system track in, something like this, may make landfall somewhere in New York City, and then it starts to make that northeastward turn right there. Watch what happens on the western side of this. Just watch this with the rainfall totals. So this is the rapid refresh. You start to see this low pressure system probably go somewhat like this here. It's going to slow down and start to make that northeastward turn. Watch of how those rainfall totals really start to go up on the western side. You kind of see what happens here when it starts to make that northeastward turn. This is kind of your end result. 10 inches of rain. Maybe some places could see a little higher than that. That's going to be my main concern here. And with the track looking to be something like this here, something like that, these would be the areas to monitor here very closely here. Southeastern, southeast central New York needs to watch this. This is where I'm thinking about where some of the worst rainfall could fall here. These are where some places could have a chance to see 8+ inches of rain. Let's check out another model here. Let's check out the NAM. You can see here, slightly similar scenario. I think it takes that northeast turn a little bit earlier. But you do see here, there is some significant rainfall totals there. 6 to 7 inches rain is a lot of rain. You also notice there is a bullseye of 12 inches of rain, which I have doubts on that. That's a different wave of convection that may move on shore later today. That could bring in a lot of rain down there too. So may have to watch parts of New Jersey later today. I could see a significant amount of rain later today. But really the model here that probably has the most accurate track, which this is a model you should not really use for tropical systems. but we're going to slightly use it, mainly for the rainfall. I'm at least using for the track-wise and not the intensity. You never use the high-risk dam for trackless system forecast, but I'm using this for the track here at least. I'm not going to use it for the intensity. It's always overdone with the intensity. A little different story here from the high-res NAM. You can see here how the track kind of goes in here, and it kind of stays stationary somewhere in southeast central New York. You do see some of these significant rainfall amounts kind of going around the system here. I mean, you got rainfall totals some places 7 to 9 inches of rain, and you have a widespread 2 to 5 inches of rain with isolated places could see 6 inches of rain. So rainfall is probably going to be a pretty big concern here. And when it makes that northeast return, probably have to watch current either on the western side of the low or maybe pretty much just around the low altogether. And the last model we'll check out is the Her. Check back on its 12Z run. And this is its thoughts right here. Again, a little farther to the southwest, making that landfall pretty early. But you do see here, when it starts to make that northeast return, like right about here, which is too far southwest for my taste, but you do see the end result here on the western side of his system. It's got some places that could see a foot of rain. So that northeast return is going to be very significant here. Wherever it's going to make its northeast turn, which is probably going to be somewhere right in something like this here, we have to watch this area right in here for any potential significant rainfall in those areas there. Hopefully these models here will at least have a better agreement here because landfall is going to be happening tomorrow evening. So hopefully these models here can have a little better agreement here over the next couple of runs here. Alright, the final thing we're going to check out here is my tropical system impact forecast. And we're going to do this a little bit differently here. We're going to do like a 4-panel thing here. I'm not going to show you guys the legend anymore. I think this is going to be a little bit more understandable. So this is the main outlook here. And we're going to be taking a look at this in a little bit more detail. So this level 3 out of 5 here, like in parts of Long Island and most of Connecticut, that's where we could see major impacts. These are areas that could see Category 1 winds. It's likely to be the main threat, but the secondary threats will be heavy rainfall and also for that chance maybe for some isolated tornadoes, basically on the eastward side of this risk area. But really the main threat that's leading to this is Category 1 winds. In the level 2 area here, that's where we can see the chance for some tropical storm winds, which is over a pretty large area here. It includes Rhode Island, Massachusetts, northeastern New Jersey, far northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern New York, southern Vermont, and New Hampshire. Within that 2 out of 5 range, which is noticeable impacts. And then you got that level 1 out of 5, which includes southern Maine, central New Hampshire and Vermont, central New York, eastern Pennsylvania, even into parts of southern New Jersey. And really the main threat would be heavy rainfall and tropical depression winds. Let's check this in a little bit more detail by one. So this is the wind forecast here, and it's very similar. Actually, it's pretty much the exact same thing here. This is what's leading to everybody having this risk area here, is the wind. In the level 1 out of 5 here in the green, that's where you could experience tropical depression winds. Level 2 out of 5, that's where you can see tropical storm winds. In level 3 out of 5, that's where you can see Category 1 winds. I know it says Category 2 as well, but we're currently forecasting a Category 1 hurricane before it makes landfall. But there is still that chance that it may be a tropical storm. But we'll see about that. Here's the rainfall totals here in that level 2 out of 5. That's where we can see 5 to 8 inches of rain. And I am considering adding a 3 out of 5, possibly somewhere in the zone here. Maybe expanding to the Long Island coastline there. We'll see about that. But really, the most area I have confidence here for a 3 out of 5. Maybe somewhere in this area in here when that makes that eastward turn. But areas in that 2 out of 5 could see 5 to 8 inches of rain. In a level 1 out of 5 could see 2 to 5 inches of rain. And here's the SPC tornado risk area. In that 1 out of 5, they're currently having a 2% chance for tornadoes in a 25-mile radius. So there's a low wind risk here for tornadoes across the eastern half of Connecticut and Long Island, central and eastern Massachusetts, and for southeastern New Hampshire as well within that 1 out of 5. You kind of see what I'm talking about here. It's kind of like the SPC forecast. You got the main outlook here, you got the 3 other categories here, you got the wind, you got the rainfall totals, and the SPC tornado risk. It's basically the same thing as how the SPC forecasts theirs. It's just this is just in kind of my own way here. So again, the main outlook here, I kind of changed the names here for each risk level. You got the wind, got the rainfall totals, and then you also got the SPC tornado risk. So it's going to kind of work the same way as like the SPC does it here. Hopefully this is a little bit more understandable for you guys here. And let me know if you guys like this or not. I really appreciate with any responses there in the comment section down below. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you already like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, hit the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.